prime time on the top game, it's a fine line. Man of the match, that's Daveye, he's the main guy, keep a close eye. Make sure you don't make no wrong play, cause I'm with Jose and Andre. And when Cyrus comes to walk in, you better know that you are watching Premier League. Daveye, tell what time we on, what time we on. Time. Let me hear you say Premier League. Daveye, tell what time we on, what time we on. Time.
Hello and welcome to Premier League Primetime. Manchester United won, Wolves 0, and that was a game which it caused my heart to beat on multiple occasions. And let's just get right into this match. And this is not a match that I, in particular, are proud of my boys and them playing. It was a very worrying and unconvincing performance, in my opinion. And I mentioned on the season opener that I am worried for Manchester United this season. Like I said, the same with Chelsea last season. This football cannot be the brand of football that we move going forward, because there's not a chance that we get out of the Champions League group stages playing like that. Imagine playing away to Manchester City, Arsenal, playing like that. They will cut us apart. That was very poor. Our ball retention was abysmal. Our awareness was dreadful. We couldn't string 4 or 5 passes together. We could barely create any opportunities going forward. All around, it was absolutely poor. It looks like the players were just entering preseason now. Too many careless mistakes, too many careless touches on the ball. It was not good enough. The midfield looked disjointed. The attack, once again, couldn't finish, couldn't create chances, inefficient. The defense at times looked sloppy. The manager took too long to make changes off the bench, which they were clearly needed. It was just an all-around poor performance. The midfield was wide open constantly, and with the high line and the high pressing, there was no one sitting, so the likes of Matheus Cunha and Pablo Sarabia were just bursting through our midfield with no one even there. The centre-backs weren't stepping at all. The wing-backs were just devoid of any real positional discipline. Everyone all around was poor. The result, the win, we got the 3 points over the line, but that masks over a poor performance. Let's be real. This was robbery. Pure robbery at the purest. Wolves should have had a penalty at the end. We were very fortunate to get away with that. It was poor. If Wolves were able to just finish their dinner, they would have probably won this game by the end of the first half, because that was absolutely dreadful. I'm just going to get straight into the player ratings. I'll start off in goal. Andre Onana making his Premier League debut. I'm not going to lie, it felt a little bit weird not seeing David De Gea in between the six for how long he has been with us and at the club. But Andre Onana, one thing I will say, on the ball, he was brilliant. He was absolutely fantastic picking out passes. His composure on the ball was very good as well. Also very good with some of those saves at his near post in those high pressure situations as well. But the glaring thing, that penalty, that should have been a penalty, and that was a huge error of judgment from Onana, and he's fortunately got away with it. But he has to be marked down for that. But Andre Onana was very very impressive for me, and I will give him a 7. I thought he was very good, and I think without Onana as well, I think we would have been in a lot more trouble. Going into the back four, I'll start with Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back. Just what I've said about Wan-Bissaka for years. Defensively, not an issue. But when he's on the ball, it's concerning. He's the pressing trigger, and Wolves targeted him. They targeted him in the pressing every single time. On the ball, going forward, still looks like Bambi on ice. It was not good enough for Wan-Bissaka today going forward, but he did get the assist as well. So you can give him some points for that. But very average performance by Wan-Bissaka standards. I'll give him a 5. Going into center backs, I'll start with Lisandro Martinez, and again, just looking slightly shaky, good on the ball, but I felt like at times just was way too rash, got that booking very early, which is why Victor Lindelof did, eventually come on going into the second half. But just, again, very average, nothing special whatsoever. And I'd say the one thing with Lissandra, I would say, is just in transition, just the errors of judgment definitely kicked in at times. And again, he has to lose that, but not too bad, but not great. I'll give him a 5, very average. Into his partner Rafael Varane, and I thought he was astonishing today. Very, very good today. He was the centre back when I saw him on the ball. Looked very good. His positioning was great. Got the goal as well to push us over the line. Rafael Varane could definitely keep his head held high. Had a decent enough performance. I will give him a 7. Into left back Luke Shaw, and I thought he was better. I thought he was better than his counterpart in Wan-Bissaka, but at the same time, again, defensively, I thought he looked shaky. Going forward as well, just the crossing not good enough as well. But again, very, very average by Luke Shaw's high standards. I will give him a 5. Going into the midfield, and I'll start with Casemiro, just did not look like the Casemiro that I've seen from last season by his high standards. Once again, got overran in midfield with Gomez and Matheus Nunes as well, just completely overrunning him, lacking those legs, and he was just left on an island for a lot of the time, would get caught forward, just really, really, really poor by his high standards. I will give Casemiro I'll give him a 5 as well. Mason Mount. And Mason Mount, whatever I've said about Mason Mount, he's going to come in and he will most likely be a runner and someone to trigger a press. And what did he do? Run around and trigger a press. On the ball, not good enough. His crosses into the box, poor. But again, it's game 1, so I won't be too judgmental. But it's concerning when I see this. It's very, very, very concerning when I see Mason Mount with the number 7 shirt getting paid $250,000 a week. Again, it's concerning when there are how many other midfield targets out there, and we chose Mason Mount. And I've said it. I'll back him 110%, but I remain skeptical over the signing because again, it's something that was a real area to address. And again, Mason Mount, these question marks are going to be asked of him for the rest of the season, but overall, really, really not great. I'll give him a 4. Bruno Fernandes, shocking, absolutely shocking performance from Bruno Fernandes today. Every time he got the ball, it was hoofball. He gets the ball, Hollywood pass to Anthony, Hollywood pass to Garnacho, to Rashford. It was constantly losing the ball in key areas, ruining the final ball, lack of end product. It was beyond poor from Bruno Fernandes today. Absolutely shocking today. 2, he was the worst player on the pitch. And I know Bruno Fernandes is far better than what I've seen. We had a decent season last year, but that was awful. That performance absolutely reeks from Bruno Fernandes today. Not good enough. Poor, 2. Going to the front 3, and I'll start with Anthony on the right-hand side. Work rate, not a problem. Once again, which I will continue to say, one-dimensional, but I think at this point, he's going to need to master that craft now. But I thought overall, made some runs in behind. The work rate was very good. But again, just lacking end product, 100%. And I'll give Anthony a 4. Not great by his standards. Alejandro Garnacho, again, work rate, very good. Got more shots on goal than Anthony did, but I'd say the same issues, the same problems lie. I'll give him a 5. I'll give Anthony a 5 as well. Up front, Marcus Rashford, poor night for him. Again, and I was confused to why he wasn't starting from the left-hand side, seeing how great of a season that he had. But, Rasmus Højlund is injured, so Erik ten Hag thought, for the first couple games, we can play Rashford through the middle. No, he's far better off from the left-hand side. He needs to play there. I do not want to see Marcus Rashford play through the middle against Tottenham. Play the likes of Jadon Sancho, who spent all the preseason playing through the middle as a false 9. I'd like to see him there. So Marcus Rashford, very, very, very poor. I've seen from his very high standards, who I love to bits, but it was, again, not good enough. 3. Onto the bench, Victor Lindelof. This man, and this is why I've remained it, and I'll keep saying it, Lindelof should not be a starting centre-back. It's more than fine that he comes off the bench, but we need another centre-back in as well, because he was getting cooked. Lindelof kept getting cooked time and time again from Matheus Nunes and especially Cunha. It was scary for me to watch. It was honestly frightening. Lindelof, but on the ball, not an issue whatsoever. I feel like tracking back was definitely his issue in regards to getting back and matching that strength and pace from Cunha. But Victor Lindelof had a half, very average. I'll give him a 5. Christian Eriksen, and I'd say Eriksen and Jadon Sancho, both of them changed the game when they came on. Eriksen and Sancho injected a new bit of energy into the side. Jadon Sancho especially thought he had a decent enough performance, tried to create opportunities instead of just shots on goal. But I'll give both of them a 6. I'll put them in the same bracket. Jadon Sancho needs to start against Tottenham next week. Who else came on? Facundo Pellistri, again, didn't really do much. I don't think he really had enough time. Came on after the goal, but really wasn't that great. But didn't have enough time. I'll give him standard 5. McTominay came on, closed down the game. Didn't have enough time. Standard 5. Into the managers, Erik ten Hag, and that football, that counter-attacking football, that is not football that I want to see. We need, and it's the same issues as with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ralf Rangnick. We can't break teams down, and we need to be able to break teams down, and we failed at doing it. Wolves should have won that game, and we were very fortunate to get away with it. And I'll say that time and time again. It was not good enough today. Team selection was wrong. I felt like Jadon Sancho definitely earned that start. Should have put Rashford on the left, Sancho through the middle. And once again, Erik ten Hag, it's the first match of the season, but you need to fix up because that was not good enough. This is not the Erik ten Hag that I know of. And again, he's got to be marked down for that. And Erik ten Hag, I'll give him a 6. And there you have it. There is your quick post-match reaction. Manchester United won, Wolves 0. And we'll see you in a bit. Thank you so much for your time watching this. And let us know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on the topics that have been in store in this feature of Premier League Primetime in the comments down below. Smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to check out our other platforms on Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And wherever you are watching this in the world, we hope you have an absolutely fantastic day / evening.